This part of Wyoming has something I never expected. And if you didn't know already, it might surprise you to hear that the southwest corner of Wyoming was covered by an ancient lake. Just west of the tiny town of Kemmerer is a place that's known worldwide. The rocks from this area can now be found around the world. Hey everybody, what's up? I came to the windswept state of Wyoming, and I'm gonna take a hike so you don't have to, and we're gonna go look at some history. But I think I'm only halfway there. So I gotta keep hiking, and I'll talk to you when I get there. So over 100 years ago, some guy came up here and was doing his version of being a miner. He was focused on a specific layer. I don't know if you can really see it, but he's gone along the whole face of this mountain, hill, butte, whatever you want to call it, and was removing a certain layer of rock for something. And there's two commercial outfits doing the same thing. There's one right there, and then there's another one right over there. And they're all looking for the same layer of rock. And I got here pretty early trying to beat the heat. I think I started this hike around 9:30. And hopefully I'm done before noon, before it starts getting real hot. It is Wyoming, so it won't get too hot. But anything over 60 degrees is too hot for me. And it's already over 60. Phew, I finally made it to the mellow section. It's a lot easier on this part. It's only slightly uphill, then back downhill, uphill. Something strange about all the waste rock off the face of this mountain. It's kind of a yellow, whitish color, a little bit orange. But the waste rock turns gray when it's separated from the mountain. Pretty weird. Okay, I can just make out our first piece of history. Just right on the top of this little hill right here. Well, it's obviously seen better days. They put some protection around it. Still got an old bed spring in there. There's the homemade stove. David C. Haddenham began digging fossils in the 1910s. In the early 1920s, he built a tiny A-frame shack close to where he was working. The shelter was furnished with a handmade stove which served for both cooking and heating. Water was available a short walk away in the grove of willows. Probably that grove of willows. In the winter, David operated a little gas station on Old Highway 30 at the base of Fossil Butte. Customers were few, but he used the time to prepare for sale the fossil slabs he had collected. For nearly half a century, Haddenham made a living collecting fossils. He died in 1968. That's a little shack. I've seen tents bigger than that. Okay, I guess it's time to spill the beans. We're at Fossil Butte National Monument. This is a free monument, so you can come here during daylight hours and explore this little national monument for free. I recommend coming early, at least in the summertime, before it gets hot. But the good thing about that is it's usually windy in Wyoming. So probably 95% of the time, the wind will help you out. So now that we've seen his little shack, that was built in the 20s. The fossils that we're gonna go look at were built 50 million years ago. And I think most of them are, I don't wanna say sea creatures, but they definitely came from the water. It's mostly fish fossils and other things you would find in the water. But it's hard to believe this part of Wyoming was underwater. Granted, it was 50 million years ago, but still, the closest lake to here that I know of is Bear Lake. And I don't think the Bear Lake ever got this full. So now we'll head over to the quarry that David made. And see, I don't think he made this quarry first. I think he did the mining along the ridge first in the early 1910s and probably eventually worked his way over to this bluff. Or vice versa, I don't know. None of the signs I've read said anything about that. Maybe once we get up to the quarry, we'll know. This is not the steep hill. Okay, I think that's our trail right over there. And then we got to go up here on the hillside somewhere. But this is definitely why I prefer a national monument compared to a national park anymore. The national parks are so crowded. And I haven't seen anybody except for a few forest rangers. Somebody took off on the trail before me, but I haven't seen them. They must have been walking faster than me, and they're already gone. Okay, I was right. The big quarry over here was not opened by David. The big quarry was opened in 1968, and it only stayed open for 3 years before this became a national monument. But you can see where we gotta go. We gotta get right there. Follow this trail, I think it goes over there and then comes back up, and then we gotta do some switchbacks to about the middle of the cliff. Okay, it says this steep bit's only a 1/4 mile long. Hopefully we make it okay. It's only a 1/4 mile. Okay, we made it to the quarry finally. That was a steep hike, but I made it. And so did you guys. So this particular area of Wyoming that was underwater, they called it Fossil Lake. Apparently at the bottom, it was real salty water. And then if you went towards the top, it was fresh water. And all the fishes lived up in the fresh water. And then they would die, sink to the bottom, and then they get covered by layers of sediment. But the sign says this small little crack right here. Oh no, this little black piece right here is a fossil of a fish. And it also said this little orange layer right here was a layer of ash from a volcano. So I don't know how many years each layer would be, but there's a lot of layers in there. Just look at all of them. So I think they're calling this the 18-inch layer. They say that over half of the fossils from this lake are contained in this one layer. Oh, another sign. Another volcanic ash layer. That was a thick one. Way thicker than the other one. It was a big eruption. I can finally see the truck. It's right down there. Okay, we're at the very top of the quarry now. Okay, it's saying these layers were formed in the shallow part of the lake, and they don't form fossils as well. But I believe all these little black spots are fossils. And then down here, they say this layer is a little bit better. You can see we got 1, 2, 3, 4 fossils right there. Well, it's saying those dark layers are algae that sank to the bottom of the lake. Woo! Don't take a wrong step right here. I guess that's why the sign said watch your step. Yeah, this is our organic rich layers again. It said they're much thinner and darker. But yeah, that's a lot of layers. Like a sandwich. Okay, well, we've seen the quarry. We've seen the dude's house. Let's go to the visitor center now and look at some fossils. Since we really can't see them here. They say the layers are so thin they got to be removed very carefully so they don't destroy the fossil. Wyoming wind, it's here. Oh, we better stop at the sign. Oh, Remember this layer? That would be the volcanic layer. That was a big eruption. Makes me wonder where that volcano was that put all that ash down. I don't see anything that looks like a volcano around here, but I know it's got to be somewhat nearby. Robert Lee Craig moved to Wyoming in 1894. He worked in the Diamondville coal mine nearby. After only a few days, Robert was injured in a mining accident, and his right leg had to be amputated. After healing, he made his own wooden leg from a barrel and began digging for fossils on Fossil Ridge. He worked his quarry for 40 years. He was the only commercial fossil quarrier until 1910, when David started his fossil quarry on the other side of the valley. Robert was told his fossils were 750,000 years old. Eventually, Robert prepared and sent a fossil to the Smithsonian. He labeled it 750,032 years old. They wrote back and asked why he added the 32 years to the age of the fossil. And he replied, "That's how many years I've been digging." We've officially made it to the visitor center. Let's go check out some fossils. Yeah, here's modern day fossil collectors. And here's the old timers. There is no pressure to take any of these hikes at this monument, but the one trail you do need to take is the one to the visitor center. This is where you can find some remarkable fossils. Check out the spikes coming off the sides of these turtles. There are so many fossils here, I won't be able to show them all. Alligators, fishes, birds, snakes, plants, and even some mammals. If you ever drive past Kemmerer, Wyoming, you need to see this at least once. These fossils are so well preserved, you can still see the scales on some of the fish. All right, that was the visitor center. That's where you're gonna see all your fossils. There's some nice fossils in there. But now we're gonna go up the scenic route. I think it's 5.5 miles long, and I think it takes us to the top of the butte. And we better at least go see the view. There's a fossil gift shop right before you get to Fossil Butte. Let's go check it out, see what they got. They got a big boulder here with some dinosaur tracks in it. That one's huge. There's a smaller one, a couple other smaller ones. Awesome. The fossils in this gift shop come from one of the commercial quarries I pointed out earlier. Right over there. And these ones you can actually buy. There are even fossil quarries nearby that you can pay and dig up your own fossils. Don't leave yet. Give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment. Or take it a step further and push the join button and become a member and get your name on this list. But regardless, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And don't forget, if you can, take the long way home. I hope you had fun. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.